Hello and welcome to this Bug and Cat Team video where we are reacting to your unpopular opinions about Miraculous.
So we've made a post on the Miraculous Ladybug Reddit asking for some of your guys' unpopular opinions, and that's basically where we're going to be reading this from.
Our first one is Season 2 is overrated and Season 5 is much better than it overall.
And there's a reply saying this one. Honestly, I kind of agree.
Yeah, Season 2 still little plot and just...
not much happened.
The same thing. Acclimatized victim, lesson learned, reset, repeat. Nothing really carried on to the next episode. Though it was good, it introduced new heroes and had a bit more substance.
It had Alya.
I think, yes, Season 5 with its plot, I think makes it a little bit higher than Season 2 with very little plot.
Yeah.
But then everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
This next one says, Alya is a good friend, and her believing Lila over Marinette doesn't negate that. I mean, Lila is designed to be believable to the characters, so I don't blame them. Honestly, I agree. And also, she didn't really believe Lila over Marinette. I mean, like, there was literally that one episode. I don't remember which one it was, but it was a Lila-focused episode. And Alya didn't think it was Lila, but she did believe Marinette, that it wasn't Marinette.
Yeah, it's like if you jump to the conclusion and only look at one person, you may actually miss who it was.
Yeah, Alya was actually being pretty reasonable.
And her...
I mean, you believed Lila too, didn't you? You believed her hair was real. Actually, some people did think it was a wig.
Her lies weren't that extravagant. When she was hoaxer and she's like, you know, Ladybug and Cat Noir are farting and causing...
a hole in the ozone layer.
You know, that wasn't out.
And Marinette being Monarch.
Yeah, they were
guys
unbelievable lies. Whereas saying she knows somebody or Ladybug saved her.
I mean, Ladybug saved a lot of people.
They're more like your white lies. Chloe's entire arc was logical. And we can see that in the episode Despair Bear, who is a great foreshadowing about what will happen at the end of Season 3.
Yeah, I don't think a redemption arc would have made sense for Chloe.
I mean, like...
I can't tell if they're saying... I'm pretty sure because they mentioned the end of Season 3 that they're saying not having a redemption arc for Chloe is logical, which I agree. I don't think a redemption arc fits Chloe's character at the moment.
No, it would have, I think, moved too quickly and been...
It would have been Dawman. It literally would have just been Dawman. Like, character is bully. But they're actually just sad. So if you just talk to them, they'll be fine. And then they're happy. And then they don't bully you no more. And wow, I forgive you. It makes no sense.
I think, yeah, would have been too fast and not a permanent change anyway.
Yeah.
It should have taken a lot longer to change and become a better person. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, she can still change and become a better person if she's hit rock bottom and can't go any further. The only way is up.
We have a reply to that, though, saying, I agree with this. So Crash Out in Season 3 is not only predictable, but kind of valid. It's Season 4 and 5 where they go hard to lessen her character.
and like,
don't know what they mean by that, but...
well, like, in... Derision, which you haven't really seen because it's such a crap episode.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but it's a crap episode.
It is.
And, you know, they just assassinate her and make her and Kim just worse than they've ever been for the entire story. It's like, oh, let's just make up this bad stuff that happened, which the other characters haven't been affected by it. So.
Yeah, that feels like it was kind of shoehorned in, which I'm mentioning that because I read something that's like further down that mentions the word shoehorned.
Yeah, they really went a little too hard to lessen her character.
This girl, lol, says, I'm glad Felix has the Peacock Miraculous. A lot of people say he shouldn't have it because he doesn't deserve it. Maybe he doesn't, but he's still the right person to have it.
I agree he's the right person to have it.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I can't say they've introduced any other characters that you could think would fit with the Peacock Miraculous.
Yeah, and also we know Felix isn't just gonna create Senti for the fun of making Senti, because he hates when people do that. Except that one episode where he actually did do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Felix, you literally just said you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then he just makes a projector.
Well, yeah, he could have just kept that as his buddy for the rest of his life and never actually used the Peacock's power again.
Yeah, he could have done that.
You could have done that. You could have kept a pet tripod, okay?
Just a pet tripod.
And deserving it. He kind of got, let's click everybody out of existence, and then, oops, sorry, I'll bring them all back, and please forgive me, and everybody did. Adrien being absent in the final battle is actually logical and a great move to create high stakes for the next story arc. The London special proved it.
Yeah, and his reply.
I didn't necessarily mind Adrien being absent from the final fight, so long as it does end up serving a narrative purpose later down the line. If it's just done to focus on the spotlight on Ladybug more, then it was a stupid decision.
Yeah, I think from like a plot standpoint, I do think it's interesting Adrien being absent for the final battle from like a story standpoint. It is kind of sad because everyone was really hoping for Adrien to be there, but honestly, I don't mind it, and it's created this interesting dynamic in the story.
Yeah, if it's not used as a plot point later, then it was a bad decision. So we just have to wait and find out what they're going to do with that. If it's something like they did with, Luca finds out their identity in Wishmaker, and now let's just wait 20 episodes before we use that information, and then ship them off and haven't used it since, then it's not really a plot.
Yeah, based on the London special, I do think that they are going to touch on that in season 6. The new heroes made the show a lot better. Ladybug and Cat Noir, only in some episodes and scenes, seemed a bit boring.
Yeah, I guess it worked for season 1, where it was just, copy, repeat, reset.
I mean, I don't really like season 1 anyway, so.
But yeah, if it's just always them, and Cat Noir throws the item to Ladybug so she can break it.
Oh yeah, that annoys me. And sometimes he hasn't even used his cataclysm yet. I'm like, dude, you have the power of destruction for a reason. Use it.
Yeah. So I mean, we did see in episodes, like Ephemeral, where the team was working together to defeat somebody.
Yeah, and also because Lila, we needed time travel shenanigans, probably because she used time travel shenanigans, but we needed to use time travel shenanigans to defeat her. So having extra heroes is going to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm going to say if Lila's supposedly smarter and can create, people with more powerful powers, then more heroes to defeat would make sense.
I agree.
Marc don't deserve a Miraculous. With lack of screen time he has, it's apparent that he was chosen simply for queer representation only.
And there's a reply to that. It says, Aspik said that in season 6, the underdeveloped heroes introduced in Panel Team will have their stories explored. And then someone else replied, I hope that comes with a transformation sequence. I hope so too. I don't really know how I feel about this.
I don't agree.
I don't think so.
I think Sabrina doesn't deserve one more than what Marc doesn't deserve one.
Yeah, I think so as well. And plus, it makes sense that, honestly, I think it makes sense that most of the heroes and stuff are, like, Marinette's friends because she can trust them. So if she's going to give the Miraculous to anyone, she's going to give it to people she trusts. And those just so happen to be her friends. And Marc just so happens to be her friend. So he gets a Miraculous.
Yeah, there's 16 Miraculouses to give out to other holders. You can't have in-depth backstories for all of them and, not focus on the main characters, so
yeah,
somebody's gotta get it.
I don't know how to say the ship name. I ship Luca x Zoe. I think they would have an amazing dynamic. Then I either get bombarded with Luca x Chloe, don't know how to say that, either is better, or Zoe is a lesbian. I think that they are some of the most understanding characters and they would make a good pair. They haven't confirmed if she's lesbian, bi, whatever. We just know that she likes Marinette. So she likes girls in some way. I don't really have an opinion on this ship. I just don't ship Luca x Chloe, and that's kind of my only opinion on these ships.
When they're all hanging out on the houseboat, Luca and Zoe don't really interact too much. She's more with the, 9th graders than she is with the 8th graders, and Luca's a 10th grader, so... The Goat Miraculous Power and the Rooster make no sense. Either the writers or Thomas were extremely lazy with their powers. So the goat can create any object of your choice.
Which feels weird because it basically just feels like another version of creation. We already have creation, which is Ladybug Miraculous.
So, the goat is passion.
It's weird.
Why creating an object of your choice is its power. The ladybug gets a random item that mysteriously knew you were going to need. Something where it wasn't pick an item you want probably would have been better. And the roost is to choose a power, but not a power that another Kwame has. Gabriel mainly uses it to become invisible. Marc used it to duplicate items.
Yeah, I think the rooster's power, the way it works, the only reason it doesn't make sense is because it's like you can't copy other Kwame's powers, but the butterfly miraculous can do that.
Yeah.
So, what you saying?
So, they could have just made the power be invisible. I mean, that is kind of handy, but...
I mean, that's what Gabriel uses.
He mainly used it for that, but he also used it to fly as Night Mentor, to spread.
Wait, actually, is that what he used it for?
That's how he flew around the boat at the end.
I just thought him flying around was part of his akumatizedness.
And Ikari goes in when she was the dog body. People. She chose the power.
Smelling people.
Yeah, in the episode Pretension, which was based on the Rooster Miraculous, but she chose the power of See the Sense.
Yeah, but then it got ruined because Felix put the
too many scents around.
Yeah, he's like a feather here, a feather here.
I think they both could have gotten better powers. Marinette isn't a stalker, while the audience isn't just kids. It's a kids show. They are both of mine and they are combined. Marinette's stalker tendencies are as simple as a teenager crush exaggerated for the sake of being in a silly cartoon.
I honestly kind of agree with this.
Oh yeah, I agree. She's just shown to be overly enthusiastic and they're exaggerating for a kids' TV show, so the younger audience can see that she's trying to make all these behind-the-scene efforts to bump into Adrien and talk to him.
Which is, I feel like it's kind of just an over-exaggerated thing of what I've seen a lot is people being like, okay, Crush has this class next, so I'm going to walk this way so I can bump into them and be like, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's just an exaggerated version of that.
They've got to exaggerate it so the younger audience can follow and laugh along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't like Adrien and Marinette together. I prefer Marinette and Felix. There's a reason why in the original promotional first concept they dropped Felix and created Adrien because they couldn't find a reason for Marinette, or Bridget as she's sometimes called, to actually be in love with Felix because he wasn't a nice guy. So they couldn't make the female lead be in love with the male lead and us believe it.
Yeah, I feel like Marinette and Felix just doesn't really make sense. The Senti-monster theory was clearly shoehorned in and it never should have been implemented.
I made a video on this showing where in season 1 to whenever it was, how they did plant the clues. No, the theory was there from season 1.
Yeah, you can really tell. I feel like it definitely wasn't shoehorned in. Like, you can tell Adrien's a Senti-monster throughout the show.
Yeah, it just, until Mega Leech and the first ring twist, it was really, really subtle. When they made season 1, they weren't sure if there was going to be any more seasons. It wasn't a major plot point, but it was there. And then in season 2, you start learning more about Peacock, and then season 3 and 4, it develops, and then in season 5 you get the no.
Adrien. No.
And then you get the interpretive play, and if you're not believing, then, and looking back at all the clues, you need to rewatch the series. Aspik is actually a great design. His bald head doesn't interfere with that. It's actually what makes him good.
What?
I wouldn't call it, he's not bald, he's got a
hat.
He's got a headpiece. I don't know where he's got. It's not bald. Bald would be like
he's got a bald cap on. He's not bald, he just has a bald cap on.
Well, when you think, when he was Mr. Bug, he kept his Cat Noir hair. So to hide his identity that he was Cat Noir, he had to hide his hair.
I also just think that the reason that they made him bald is so that we would like...
Luca's Viperian.
Viperian! I forgot how to pronounce it.
Yeah, so... It was, I think, it was just...
I think his bald head's weird. His design's good, but his bald head's weird.
He needed to do something with his hair, so Ladybug couldn't tell it was Cat Noir.
Alright, this one says, the best part of the show is that it follows a formula, and I find the most formulatic episodes better than the plot of advancing episodes. If there is no true ending, I would be happy. I feel like this is the kind of person who would really like season 1. I mean, no hate if you do like season 1, but... I personally don't. I prefer the plot advancing episodes. I don't know if this is a popular opinion or an unpopular opinion. I think it's kind of like 50-50.
Most episodes follow a formula. Marinette has a problem in her life. Somebody gets akumatized, and de-akumatizing them helps Marinette. It gives her the answer to solving her problem. She's learnt stuff and can implement. It is a kids' TV show, and there needs to be a moral lesson to it, so it teaches about friendship and helping others and accepting help from other people. So that's what the formula is about. And then you actually want some plot.
I like plot. Yeah,
so
I like
you actually want something to have a purpose and follow along and grow with the characters. So the combination of the two, I think, is the better option.
I agree. I would have loved to include all of these, but a lot of them just weren't really that, interesting.
Discussable?
Yeah, a lot of them weren't really that discussable to include, and a lot of them were kind of just repeats. So, if yours wasn't mentioned, but if your unpopular opinion was mentioned, but your comment wasn't read out, it's probably just because we read somebody else's first.
And if you'd like this video, make sure to hit the like button so we know to do another one. So that's all for this video. Bug and Cat team out.
Yeah.
I could have done this on my own.
But we're the cat and bug team, remember?
Bug and Cat team, you mean?